It's been a hard day time.
A Beatles song that's fitting for a family doc who puts in long hours. Don Hughes and his singing colleagues have been performing at Aitkin's Riverwood Gala since 2005, raising money for the foundation.
Some years we've raised as much as $10,000 just by the group of doctors singing.
It's a lot of stress, and when it's over, it's a lot of fun to look back at some of those silly videos.
He knows in the end that he's doing it for a good reason.
And while Dr. Hughes is not comfortable in the spotlight, he's about to get a lot of attention.
He's just one of those people that likes to give to other people.
Puts in lots of extra time that make a difference in quality of care and patient satisfaction.
He's just an all-around good guy. Honest, dependable.
He just always makes you feel like you're important and your concerns are valid.
Absolute team player.
A member of the team since the early 90s, Dr. Hughes has been seeing patients at Riverwood Healthcare Center for 20 years.
Well, they love him. They love his commitment to them. They love the fact that he takes care of them not only for their medical illness, but emotionally, what their needs are, and is supportive for them in every way that he can be.
There's nothing more special or a bigger honor than to have the people you work with, live with, that are part of your life, go out of their way to let you know that they appreciate what you do.
I would never have gone this far without him.
Patient Patty Bailey even put a picture of Dr. Hughes on her keychain.
It is strange that I carry his picture around with me.
But she likes to have him nearby so she can brag him up to others.
He has saved my life, and I want everybody else to know what an awesome doctor he is.
I would get shots.
No shots today, huh?
Jamie Nyberg remembers a time as a new mom when she was at a breaking point with her son's health issues.
He was so patient and listened to everything I was saying.
I hope you feel better.
And at the end of the appointment, he just grabbed my hand and he grabbed my son's hand and he just said, you know, we're gonna work together and we're gonna get this figured out.
And to this day,
How
her
do you think
3-year-old
it was?
son Noah adores him.
We were sitting on the couch the other day and he just, out of nowhere, can Dr. Hughes come to my birthday party? So not only are we like 8 months away from his birthday party, but he wants Dr. Hughes to come.
Dr. Hughes has actually been there for a lot of birthdays.
He delivered me when I was a baby, so 13 years.
Dr. Hughes welcomed all 3 of the Wilson kids to the world and still sees the entire family.
I like him because he's nice.
He just really connects to you in an easy way.
Anybody can feel welcome approaching him about any subject. You aren't going to get a cold shoulder, you aren't going to get a missed phone call.
He talks about everyday life, but yet he's just very smart, and you know you can trust him with everything you're bringing into his office. And
Several years ago, Dr. Hughes detected a problem with Julie's heart.
we're lucky that he caught that, because otherwise it could have been tragic, really.
Personally, I have a lot to be thankful for in Dr. Hughes.
So does co-worker Lynn Wakilius.
I looked up and here was Dr. Hughes standing there in the bedroom at about 10 o'clock that night.
When her mom died of cancer, Dr. Hughes was there for her family.
He came in to my mom's home just to support us and just be there with us. My one brother said, "Do doctors make house calls?"
Dr. Hughes does. To him, being a physician is more than just a job.
You would know that living in our household, because it's the text that he gets, the calls that he gets from patients, the people that we see in the grocery store. It's your typical small town doctor of the olden days.
It's a great feeling to know that I can call anytime. Day, night, I've called for my parents.
The ERICKSONs would have to agree.
During all 3 of our boys' pregnancies, he basically said, here's my cell phone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. And the few times we did call, it never was like a condescending tone or, oh, I'm really busy, let's make this quick. It was always, if you need a half hour of my time, I'll give it to you.
And during an appointment, it's the same way.
I never feel rushed. I can ask as many questions as needed. And he takes a special interest in the kids.
Which can lead to some backups throughout the day.
When you go to visit him, he'll sit there and talk. That's why he's always late. But I wouldn't trade him for nothing.
I think the world of him.
Patients like the Wallaces are understanding because they know he gives everyone the time they need.
I mean, this is the kind of doctor he is. He's very dedicated to his patients.
Some of that extra time I spend is educating them on what their disease is and how you treat it. And I think that helps them understand it better, take care of themselves better.
He's very good, he's very devoted. He was a great partner to have in your group.
Those who work alongside him say he offers help whenever he can.
He has sacrificed a lot of time and a lot of days where he's picked up the slack and has just stepped in and said, I'll do it.
Even when he's not on call, he'll still come in if somebody needs something. I mean, he's just that kind of person that he'll do whatever it takes to get the job done, and it doesn't matter what time.
We always joke in the mornings when it's his day off, kind of what time he's going to show up at the clinic, because he always is at the clinic on his day off doing something.
And it's a common sight in the evening when everyone else has gone home to find Dr. Hughes still there on his computer or on the phone.
He'll stay late and do most of the calls himself. He's very self-sufficient, very self-sufficient. He told me that his dad taught him that if you can do it yourself, don't make somebody else do it. And I think he incorporates that a lot into his work.
When Dr. Hughes is not at the clinic or hospital,
he is part of this community. He's a fixture.
He offers his services to the school district, attending sporting events with his wife, who happens to be the athletic director.
If an issue comes up, he'll come down out of the stands.
He does regular skin checks for wrestlers, as well as works to educate students, coaches, and parents about sports-related health issues.
He's a person who wants what's best for everybody, and he will do and go above and beyond.
Something that's also evident in his teaching.
He does everything. He's like our medical director for education. We have our PEP students here every year. He's the main preceptor and has been for many years.
He's an excellent teacher. He just doesn't say, well, this is what we're doing right away. He gives them the chance to open up and figure it out for themselves.
Dr. Hughes also mentors high school students and teaches monthly at the residency program in Duluth.
He really works to build relationships with these residents and with these students, and personally invests in them, invites them over for dinner, and helping them to see what is it like to be a doctor, what is my life, how does my life exist, here's how my family operates.
One might say Dr. Hughes is a physician recruiter's dream.
And we've even recruited and hired already some of the med students that he's precepted that have signed on early to come to Riverwood.
Don Hughes was born in the small northeastern Iowa town of Lime Springs. He was the fourth child in a family of 6 boys. His dad was a rural mail carrier and also worked at a local store.
From a younger age, I went on calls with him when he worked at the hardware store, going out to fix things for the farmers.
His mom stayed at home to raise her boys.
My mother was a very caring person, and I just grew up knowing caring for someone was an important part of my life.
In his younger years, Dr. Hughes was an Eagle Scout and played the tuba in the marching band. He graduated valedictorian of his high school class and received a degree in chemistry before heading to the University of Iowa to pursue his dream of becoming a family physician.
I just had this feeling that medicine was something I could do. When I went through med school, I vowed I'd be open-minded and try to figure out what type of doctor I would be, but I kept coming back to family medicine for the variety, for the ability to take care of a patient all through their lifetime.
Dr. Hughes met his wife Kathy when he answered a Get Acquainted ad in the school newspaper.
It was the comparable thing to what a Match.com would have been.
I uncharacteristically for me wrote a response and dropped it in the mailbox, and if my arm was long enough I would have reached in there and pulled it back out.
The two dated his first year of residency and then tied the knot. 23 years and 3 children later, they are still going strong.
Very committed to his work, but still, he's still truly a family man.
Dr. Hughes' favorite getaway is their cabin in the Boundary Waters, where he can relax and just hang out with the kids.
With me, he likes to joke around a lot, and he makes me laugh, and he's always been there for me.
I just feel like he's prepared me that I could just jump into life right now and be fine.
Sometimes I think I probably could have done a better job as a dad if I had a 9-to-5 job, and yet I think my kids see what I do and respect what I do.
And perhaps the biggest compliment a son could pay is to follow in his dad's footsteps. Chris Hughes is pre-med and leaning toward family medicine.
To see the compassion he has to help the people, and it really kind of like, I don't know, that's where I see myself being.
It's a crazy life right now, but we're balancing it all.
Besides making trips back to Iowa to be with his own parents, Dr. Hughes also provides care for his in-laws who live next door.
My dad's got a little bit of dementia, so all they remember is that he's the doctor. They see him coming through. Sometimes they wonder why I'm going home to sleep with the doctor.
Along with her school duties, Kathy Hughes owns and operates several small retail businesses. When Dr. Hughes does have free time, one may find him making pies or other treats to sell at the store.
He's very good at doing cheesecakes, and I think that comes from his detail work as a doctor. He's a perfectionist, so everything has to be just right.
Over the years, he's helped Kathy renovate 5 of her buildings, one of which was the Tuscany Room, a soup and sandwich restaurant in downtown Aitkin that he built from the ground up.
It's my kind of release to work with my hands and see what I can make and do something different.
That's right, if Don Hughes hadn't made the decision long ago to be a doctor, he may have been.
He's quite a carpenter, and he'll screw it up every time. He hurts himself.
Patient Helen Ramarsik bought him a personal nurse for assistance and loves to tease him about his mishaps.
Come in with a bandage on it. What'd you do this time?
I tried to fix my garage door and it spring let loose and broke my wrist.
But that wasn't the worst of it.
I lost a couple parts here and there.
He also had a run-in with a metal fan while fixing an air compressor.
I knew I had my finger in there and I saw blood and I thought, this is going to be embarrassing. I've got to go to the ER and get stitches. And then I looked a little closer, there was no fingertip left.
Yet he's the kind of doctor who, despite personal injury, still goes to work the next day.
Not everybody stands out like Dr. Hughes.
He never sacrifices the personal care that he offers to his patients.
I think if there was one word to sum up Dr. Hughes, it would be authentic. He's a real deal.
So yes, it's a Beatles song that could have been written for Dr. Hughes, as there's a good chance he'll have more long, hard days and nights ahead of him.